Hello. My name is Kallista, and welcome back to Unavowed. In the last episode, we completed the mission in Brooklyn, and I'm still quite nervous about that. We were really stuck between a rock and a hard place with that. You know, we weren't gonna kill him. Like, that was never in the cards for Bryony. We weren't just gonna kill Stan. And our only other option, aside from trusting him, was forcing Callie to take the powers, which, I mean, there's no guarantee that we would have been able to force her into doing that, but also we would have been consigning her to a miserable existence. It's rather unfortunate, but there simply weren't any other options, and as such, Bryony decided to trust Stan. Am I entirely happy with that? No, because here's the thing. At the end there, when we questioned him on, hey, before you said dying for art was a triumph, do you still believe that? He didn't actually answer the question. He refused to give a yes or no answer, and instead he said, oh, I'll try and be more careful from now on. So, he clearly still thinks that dying for art is a triumph, and I'm not gonna lie, I could see him trying to force his gift on the rest of New York. Before he spoke about how, you know, Brooklyn, it was being taken over by the corporate chains and all of that, and art was dying in the community until I got this gift. I'm worried about what if he decides, oh, well, these people around me are so much happier. Now I'm gonna go into other areas of New York. I'm gonna go up to Manhattan. I think that's in New York. I don't really know New York. I'm not from there, I've never been. The closest I've ever gotten is Boston. So I don't know districts of New York, but like, Harlem, Queens, their districts, I know that, or at least areas. It's like, what if he takes his gift to those areas and forces them to do art, and he tries to take over New York with the artists? Like, it'll be that cop's worst nightmare. The artists are worse than drug dealers. I mean, if that is the case, the Unavowed are right here to put a stop to it, but it is concerning. I'm very concerned about that. Alrighty then, let's go see what our companions have to say.
Come on, kid, move! I just want to get a bit of target practice in.
I don't see what the big deal is.
I can't shoot the target with KK in front of it. I might hit her.
You know bullets just go through her, right?
Yeah, but it's still weird.
If it doesn't bother her, I don't see why it should bother you.
Why is she so keen to be shot at anyway?
She says it's fun.
Fun.
Different things are fun when you're dead.
I'm a little bit speechless because she says that getting shot at is fun. Well, KK would know. Oh, KK, you are messed up. You are messed up. If you don't remember, KK was walking home with her mum, and a gunman sort of came by in a car and shot at her mum. But the bullet hit KK. That's how she died. Her mum took her to the creepy basement she built instead of the hospital, and she bled to death. KK, you are fucked. KK, that is fucked up. I'm with Vicky on this one. No, thank you. Logan's eyes shift from Vicky to KK. A faint smile betrays his thoughts. Don't encourage this, Logan. Don't encourage that shit. Vicky glares at KK from across the room. I'm with you, go. I'm with you. That is messed up.
So many great bars in Brooklyn and we didn't walk past a single one. I call that a blessing. Anyway, what's up?
What's going on in here? Nothing good. Could I see that picture of KK again? Any thoughts on the last mission? See you around, Logan. You too, KK. Let's go through them. What's going on in here?
Oh, KK's just messing with Vicky, that's all. I'd stop her, but it's not like I can make KK do anything. Plus, it's nice to see KK mess with someone else for a change.
Any thoughts on that last mission?
I think we made a good call with Stan, although maybe not the right one. I know what addiction's like. Sometimes you're not even aware of the damage you're doing until it's too late. If Stan Bates gets the help he needs, then maybe he'll be okay. Maybe. Either way, what's done is done. If it turns out we made the wrong call, we'll try and make it right.
That's the only thing we can do. If it turns out we made a massive mistake, then all we can do is try and set it right. See you around, Logan. You too, KK.
Sure, we'll chat later.
And Vicky?
So muses exist, and they can kill people. I see why Mandana was always training so hard. Speaking of Mandana, she's kinda taking a break today. She's in the study, so we're giving her some space. Anyway, what's going on?
Okay. What's going on in here?
Oh, Mandana said I could use that target for practice. I was thinking of all the bad guys we've seen so far. I figured I should brush up. Training here would be easier than the ranges I usually go to. Too many cops asking me awkward questions. Of course, they also have fewer ghost kids trying to psych me out. So, 6 of 1.
Oh. Fewer ghost kids. Oh, KK. Girl, you need to stop. This is weird. Any thoughts on that last mission?
It's a toughie, right? Is Stan guilty of keeping a lethal weapon if the weapon is literally a part of him? I suppose letting him go felt right, but was it actually right? Whatever. We made a call. Whatever happens, happens.
We'll chat later.
Right. Catch you later.
Okay, and Eli. More fire reading, I see. Okay. How you doing, bud?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was a bit distracted. Mandana told me about your encounter with Calliope, so I've been reading some old scrolls about muses. Most of the scrolls in the Library of Alexandria were Greek, so you can imagine there's a lot on the subject.
Is Mandana doing okay?
Yeah, she's hanging in there, just as I am.
Any thoughts on our last mission?
I'm glad we didn't kill Stan. Really, really glad. But leaving him with his power? I just hope he figures it out before someone else dies.
I don't think he will. To be brutally honest, I don't think he will. I think there are gonna be a fair few more deaths before Stan figures out his power. I don't think there was a simple good option here. To be fair, I think a lot of the missions in Unavowed haven't had good choices. I apologize if you can hear the motorbike outside. That would be my neighbor. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, there haven't been really any oh, here's the obvious good choice, which I like. I really like that in a game where the game kind of hands you various degrees of shit, and none of them are perfect, and none of them are right, and all of them have downsides, and you kind of have to weigh up, okay, which is the least shittiest turd? Which one do I go for? I like that, but it doesn't make it easy when deciding what to do. I'd argue that's a good problem to have. This'll sound bad. There was another option. The game didn't present it to us. Calliope made the point of, I got the power when I was young, and as such I grew up with it, therefore I intrinsically knew how to use it. There was a child nearby. There was June. We could have, maybe if Calliope could have taken it from Stan and put it into June, then she would have grown up with it and she would have been a more fitting receptacle for those powers. But then we know that June loved to draw, she loved to use her chalks, and therefore we'd be denying her that joy, and also we'd be giving her powers without her consent. We'd be robbing her of that agency. So I mean, that was an option. The game didn't give us it, but like that could have been an option, but it still wouldn't have been good. Oh, like I said, it was trying to figure out which was the least shittiest, and to be honest, I think the least shittiest would have been forcing Calliope to take back her powers, but I think Bryony's a little bit idealistic. I don't think she's a little bit idealistic. I think she's very idealistic, and I just don't think she would have done it. I'll leave you to it.
Right. See you around.
God, we didn't even have the option to ask about, you know, the pictures and none of that. I mean, when I first started the game, and it was just Eli, Mandana, and Kalash, it could take me like 2 episodes to talk with everyone. I've spoken with, with Eli, Vicky, and Logan. I'm about to speak with Mandana. I don't think that'll take me very long. It's not even been 10 minutes into this episode. Oh, it really feels like the game is winding down. I know we still have 2 missions left, but it really feels like the game is winding down to me.
Hello. I was just processing the events of last night. I have no memory of what transpired in the creative force. Perhaps it is better that way. Regardless, it was good to see Calliope again. I will always have a fondness for her, wherever fate takes her next.
Oh, I'm so sad that we don't have the option to say, how did you and Calliope meet? Because that sounded like a really interesting story. Calliope was chilling in a colony in Havana, and I guess she made an artist paint a cursed painting, and then all of the soldiers started going insane. That sounds like such a cool, terrible story. Aw. So, how are you holding up?
I admit that it has been difficult, but I am managing. Hunting this demon helps. Eli told me that it gets easier, but never quite gets better. Perhaps he thought that was reassuring.
I don't necessarily know if that's reassuring, but it's true. I think that is a very adequate way of describing grief. It gets easier, but it never gets better. And maybe he thought that as a djinn, you'd appreciate the truth more than something that's just a platitude. It's just gonna like, oh no, it absolutely gets easier. You'll get over this feeling. Yeah, 100%. Like, you'd have been able to tell he was lying. Any thoughts on that last mission?
For what it is worth, Stan Bates spoke the truth. He does not intend to cause any more harm. But convictions mean little without the action to back them up. Thus far, Stan Bates has been lacking in that regard. I can only hope he proves otherwise.
Well, that's comforting at least. And I'd assume that statement goes for everything Stan said at the end. Because he said 2 things. I don't intend to cause any more harm. And then the other thing was, I'll try and learn. I'll try. And if that was a lie, oh no, I'm going to abuse the shit out of this power, but I don't want to tell them that. So I'm going to lie and say I'm going to try and learn it. You'd have thought Mandana would have called that out, so I assume Stan was telling the truth at the end there, which is a good sign, I feel. But it's like Mandana said, you can tell the truth in a moment. Oh, I won't intentionally cause harm. He could mean that, but then he could meet someone that really annoys him. And he just does it on instinct. It doesn't negate the fact that he was telling the truth earlier. He didn't intend on using his powers to hurt then, but that's in the past. Now we're talking about now. Oh dear. Should we start a meeting?
Yes. Eli said he had some information to share. It is time he did so.
You look kind of tired, Eli. You okay?
I'm fine. Too much fire reading. Takes a lot out of you. Anyway, information about Melkhiresa was carefully guarded. Even with fire reading, all I found were fragments. But I did learn a few things.
That actually reminds me of something. Something Bryony said when she and Calliope were looking at Mandana when Mandana was in the trance. It was the actor-specific option. And I didn't pick up on this at the time, but when I was editing that episode, I picked up on it then. Bryony said, by creating art, you can often find yourself. Something to that effect. That's not the direct quote, but it was words to that effect. And again, what did Bryony write when she was in the trance? She wrote Melkhiresa. I'm convinced at this stage. I am convinced we aren't playing as Bryony, we are playing as Melkhiresa who thinks she's Bryony. Like I said, I'm convinced. It's about time. Don't keep us in suspense. So, tell us. Don't keep us in suspense.
Yeah. What are we dealing with here? You said yesterday that it had something to do with knowledge?
Yes, quite literally. From the bits I was able to pick up, the name Melkhiresa is synonymous with knowledge.
What does that mean? It knows things? What kind of things?
It knew about Galen and how to free her. It knew about the General's power and how to exploit it. It knew about the Eddings house and how to make them turn Geist. This one I disagree with. There was nothing in the pages we found that spoke about the Eddings house. If I remember correctly, it said maybe I can find some lost souls and manipulate them into turning poltergeist. I just need to find the right people. The Eddings they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. It was a chance meeting with Dana on the street, and Bryony / Melkhiresa / whoever was controlling the body, shall we say, was able to persuade Dana to open up. They could sense that weakness in her, and they figured, ooh, I can prey upon you. I can prey upon you and the people renting out your room, and I can make you all turn into poltergeists. The Eddings, it wasn't that Melkhiresa knew about the Eddings specifically, it's that they knew how to make souls become poltergeists. These are both true, I feel. Because they're more generalised. Oh, there's a druid up in Central Park that's been there for thousands of years. There's a war going on between the merfolk and some other people. I'm drawn to this one. It knew about Galen and how to free her.
Indeed. It knew just where to strike and who to strike against. Again and again. Only a creature with immense reserves of knowledge could achieve this.
So how do we stop it? So Melkhiresa literally knows everything? What would a spirit of knowledge need with a pocket realm? It wouldn't. A spirit of knowledge would have no need of a pocket realm, but an evil actress might want that. Why? I don't know. Here's the thing, what exactly is a pocket realm? It's a realm within a confined pocket, yeah, but that could mean a lot of things. So, So Melkhiresa literally knows everything?
It appears to know more than we do for certain. It has a decisive advantage.
Knowledge is power? My dad used to say that all the time.
A trite phrase, but in this instance, quite true.
If Melkhiresa is so smart, how did it let itself be exercised?
You're right. It should have known we were there. Should have known how to avoid us, or stop us.
You really think so? I mean, I've taken a few boxing lessons at the gym, but I wouldn't last 2 seconds in a real ring. Knowing things isn't the same as understanding them.
Truly spoken, this Melkhiresa is not all-knowing, nor all-powerful. It is important to remember this.
Here's the thing. If my theory is correct, Melkhiresa wasn't the one in control. It was Bryony. And Bryony, from all of the cutscenes we've seen, from the writings we've found, Bryony seems cocky. She had been killing people for a little over a year. And I mean, how did they describe the fight with the demon? Oh, it was taunting us. It was, killing people left and right and kind of jumping in and out of our reach. It was toying with us. Bryony overestimated how powerful she was. And I think that was ultimately her downfall. And then it was just pure luck that the spell Eli used stated out evil spirit, thus displacing Bryony from her body, and Melkhiresa was left behind, but all of the trauma that she had experienced, because she's a demon or spirit of knowledge, that doesn't imply anything bloodthirsty. As such, oh my god, I'm trapped in a mortal vessel, and holy shit, we're going around killing a bunch of people. That will have caused immense trauma. I think that's why she's hiding in Bryony's memories. Because that way she kind of doesn't have to deal with all of the shit that she was forced to do over the year. What would a spirit of knowledge need with a pocket realm?
I don't know. I only found accounts of people who used Melkhiresa for information. Nothing about Melkhiresa itself.
I guess when we find it, we can ask it.
So, how do we stop it?
I don't really know. In the texts I read, nobody ever mentioned being possessed by Melkhiresa. They just talked to it.
Talk to it.
Yeah, they'd summon it, then ask it questions, usually about dark magic or how to defeat an enemy. And they had to pay in blood, lots of it. People would die every single time. But Melkhiresa was always correct every single time.
Now that does imply some level of bloodthirstiness. However, what I'd like to point out, Eli said they were getting in contact with Melkhiresa to ask about dark magic or defeating their enemies. Of course people are gonna die. Like, oh, how do I perform dark magic? Oh, well, you have to kill an entire orphanage of kids. Thanks, Melkhiresa. Stab, stab, stab. Oh, how do I defeat my enemy? Well, you stab him in the throat. Thanks, Melkhiresa. Stab in the throat. Like, the fact that people died because of the information Melkhiresa gave, if they're asking them about evil shit, then they're gonna explain how to do evil shit. Knowledge... How do I put this? a spirit or demon of knowledge does not necessarily imply evil, but it also doesn't necessarily imply good. If it's being summoned to answer a question, then it's probably just going to answer the question so it can go back to wherever it was chilling out and just continue watching the world. Like, also the fact that no one else was possessed by Melkhiresa, there was so much carnage and bloodshed over the course of the last year. If that was Melkhiresa's MO, that'd be written somewhere. 100%. If this level of destruction had happened before because of Melkhiresa, like directly, that would have been written. And I don't know how to word this. There's something in my head, I just don't know how to formulate it into words, so I'm gonna ask the question. Nobody was ever possessed by Melkhiresa before me?
I didn't say that. I said there was no record of it. So maybe you're not the first.
Like I said, the level of destruction, the level of death, that would be written someplace. That would have to be written, but it likes to gather information and answer questions. The fact that people used it to gain dark knowledge, I don't think that's on the demon. I mean, if people summoned it to ask, hey, what's the weather gonna be like tomorrow, it probably would have answered just as easily. Time's wasting. We have 2 more neighborhoods to deal with. So, meeting adjourned, I guess. Let's get back out there. I like this one. Let's get back out there.
Yeah, lead the way. My Metro card's getting cold.
Indeed. Okay, any banter? Oh my god, have we ran out of tram banter? Oh, that really hits home. Hey, the game is ending soon. Oh no. Okay, and wait, we need to choose people first. Considering we brought Mandana last time, let's bring Eli. And I'm so sorry, Vicky, but if we run into a ghost, we need Logan. Okay, and let's head to Wall Street. Wall Street, Bowling Green Station, 8:07 p.m.
Not now. It's night. The ferry's closed.
Huh?
KK wants to go see the Statue of Liberty. The ferry's nearby.
Ha! That's so fun. I took my girls there once. She'll love it.
Yeah. She likes flying up to the statue's head and mooning it.
Oh, that's fun too, I guess.
God damn it, KK. God damn it, don't do that. That was a gift from the French. Don't do that. This grand old clock peeks out of the evening mist. Bowling Green, the doors to Bowling Green subway. Okay, so we can go down this way to a downtown residential area. It looks like a poster for a missing child. Oh. This woman is busy attaching a poster to the wall. Oh dear. Oh, and it's a little one too. Missing Elijah Cook, age 3 months. Sex male, race biracial, hair black, eyes brown, height 2 foot, address 387 Battery Place, apartment number 4E, missing since May 17th, 2017. Elijah was last seen outside his home at 387 Battery Place. He was allegedly abducted from inside his stroller. He was wearing a tan knit cap and a white onesie. He is half Chinese, half Caucasian, Please contact the police with any information. Damn. The fact that he was abducted from inside his stroller is interesting to me because I guess maybe they placed the stroller with him in it outside and then they went back inside, like, just for a minute, and then they came out and he was gone. Because here's the thing, like, good strollers at least would have, like, straps to keep the baby from falling out, so you'd have to undo all of that. The baby could be crying because, like, you're a stranger and you've got up in my face, like, who the hell are you? And if it's a friendly baby, then they could have been all about that. You just, ooh, attention. But, like, there are a bunch of straps with strollers. You'd have to undo all of them, and if you're stood right there, you would 100% notice someone come up to the stroller, lean in, start undoing all of the buckles. You'd notice that. So I guess they must have gone back into their home for like a minute, come back out, the baby's gone. Oh god, that's so sad. You'd feel so guilty. Madam?
Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry about your loss. To Wall Street past a damp little park. Let's go this way.
They sit in their tower, believing they're giants. That they're too important, too vital to fail.
Okay.
So they walk like giants in the clouds, looking down on us with disgust. Nobody can see the truth. Nobody can see them for what they are.
The man grips his sign
They're
like his life
thieves,
depends on it.
stealing our future, our children.
Oh.
And we let them over and over again.
Well, that's an interesting thing to say,
This
considering there's a
building
missing
is
child.
gleaming glass monolith. It represents all we want to be. But it was built on a foundation of lies and sustained by the gullible. The gullible who sell their souls willingly to a god who doesn't care.
I kind of want to see if this guy is gonna...
Sit in their
Okay,
tower,
yeah, it's just gonna
believing
be...
they're
you know what?
giants.
I'm just about out of time for this
That they're too
episode.
important, too
I'm gonna move
vital
over
to
here,
fail.
just so then I don't have to listen to the
That
yelling.
ghost. Can you see it, Logan?
Yeah, I can see him. Old guy, wearing a suit, looking down the street.
And this is why we bring Logan with us. This is why. Alrighty then, in the next episode, we're gonna go have a chat with both the ghost and the guy with a sign, see what he's yelling about. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.